Hey guys, what's going on? It's Microwave. Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk About It, where I bring you tips, guides, or discuss problems within the game that I am currently playing. This is a weekly video series that happens every single Friday at 0800. If you guys have something that you would like me to break down or want me to discuss, then let me know in the comments below. In this week's episode, we're going to talk about hackers in the game Rainbow Six Siege. This episode has been a work in progress over the past few weeks, which I'll get into details later. Back in Season 1, these hackers were mainly in ranked, but for the past 2 months, they've actually been creeping into the games for the lulz, woohoo! And it's been quite annoying to play against these cheaters when I'm looking to mess around in casual. Now ranked games are a whole different beast, and accusations fly out at the slightest fishy moment. So I've been reading a bunch of posts on Reddit saying that there's hackers everywhere and that they've been ruining the game. Not only for the people who have been here since the beginning, but for also the new players who just bought the starter edition or the Steam sale version. So I decided to do a social experiment within the game to see how players would react to these so-called hackers. I wanted to answer these 3 questions for my experiment. Number 1, do players call hacks just because somebody is better than them? Number 2, do players support a cheater if they're on the same team? And finally, number 3, do white knights exist? Now for those of you who don't know, a white knight is someone who uses a third-party program cheating software and they have it running in the background and they don't enable it. If they get the slightest inkling that a player is cheating, then they'll flip on the switch, just because they believe that they are balancing out the teams. These questions are split into 2 different parts, lower level and higher level clearance. If a match had a team of 100 or lower clearance level, then they were put in the lower category. Anything above that, then they were placed in the higher category. Now some of you guys are probably asking the question, did you actually download cheats just to make this stupid video? And no, I didn't download any getgood.exe or anything like that. Now I know some of you guys are also going to say stuff like, well, you didn't actually use cheats, so how can you get a good baseline for your evidence, bruh? And well, I won't lower myself to being a douchebag, so I had to come up with some other way of acting like a cheater. I accomplished this by doing 2 different things in the game. First, I bought 2 separate starter edition accounts and named them stuff that a blatant zero fucks given cheater would name them. You know the types, 420 XX scope, no scope, 360, or Dorito bags hacks, or Mountain Dew game vape hacks, anti-cheat testers. You know, the types that run outside with an aimbot and just kill the whole team in seconds. Yeah, those type of name guys. I then proceeded to play multiple matches throughout 3 weeks, and I just annihilated my opponents because they were brand new to the game. I also did the same thing on my main account, and I queued into different regions while changing my name. I utilized the high ping peeker's advantage to get multiple aces, and I got hackizated so many times, man, it was ridiculous. Now for those of you who don't know, if you have a higher ping and peek an enemy around a corner, you get about a whole second of invisibility because their client hasn't registered that you peeked them. So killing someone with the initial peek coupled with the inaccurate kill cams, and you get a nice concoction of some really fishy kills. After 3 weeks of doing this off and on, I compiled some evidence on how the community reacts to these cheaters. And what I found out was quite alarming, and it really bothered me to the core. Now I can only speak for the matches that I played. In no way is this a certain thing, because everyone is different and everyone will react differently to each circumstance. So most of you have seen my Zerg video where I go in and try to get to the objective as fast as possible, and I try to kill everybody in sight to end the round super early. Speaking of which, be sure to stay tuned for my IQ Zerg strat video coming up. I'm super excited about that, because IQ is love, IQ is life. This is the same strategy that I used while playing in the 3 weeks for my social experiment. I would constantly do stuff like this.
Clear. Watch for the blast.
Op 4 last stop standing. Op 4 eliminated.
And this.
Securing the hostage.
Hostage secured. Op Op 4 eliminated.
After putting in a good amount of time on this, I finally got the answers to my 3 questions. Now I wanted to add that most of these games were solo queued, and in not one instance did I say that I was cheating. Instead, I let everybody else come to the thought themselves. I did, however, ask what they thought about hackers after the game was pretty much over. And these are my results, guys. Are you ready? So let's get to the first question. Do players call hacks just because somebody is better than them? Generally, throughout my social experiment, lower clearance players did not hackizate me even when I went 11-0. Now I'm not sure if they didn't care or they just wanted to muck about in the game while others did all the work for them. It wasn't until I started getting a mix of different clearance levels did I see a huge difference. When I had players that were 100 plus mixed in with level 20s, it became a much more volatile game. As soon as I would kill somebody that was in the higher bracket, they would furiously bang away at their keyboard, stating that they knew for a fact that I was a cheater and I should GTFO, bruh. In most cases of playing, the higher bracket players would tell me that I'm reported and would leave immediately while TKing their own teammates. While the lower bracket players asked, how am I doing what I'm doing? It was quite funny. They would actually follow me around and were generally curious to how a low level player like themselves was better than these people who had so much time in the game. And the funny thing is, not one person asked me if I was on a Smurf account. I was called so many vulgar names and everybody wished death upon my family. It was just sad. So generally lower levels just wanted to play and have fun, while the higher levels wanted to win. And if they got beaten by my wannabe hacker tactics, then they would scream hacks. So I then asked the question, do players support a cheater if they're on the same team? And what I uncovered was the most shocking part of this whole experiment. Not one single case of a team kill happened when I was doing all this. In fact, I got friend requests and players said stuff like this.
When you say testing anti-hacks, do you mean...
Oh, see, here.
Okay, yeah, let's have a good game this match.
See? Did you hear what he
What do you mean
said?
by you're testing anti-hacks?
See?
Checking to see if fair fight takes it.
You say he's...
Castle, I'm gonna take the new door. Oh, you just bought it? Nice. Did you buy the starter pack? Starter pack, yeah. Oh, no, you're good.
See? He's defending it. He's fucking defending it, like I said. In every single game that I played while doing this, not one teammate cared that I was cheating. It only mattered that they had the cheater on their team, and as long as they won, then oh well. This is the most disheartening part, and I was seriously upset at these players. I couldn't believe that my opponents would get so angry at me for supposedly cheating, and then turn around and my team would try to friend me. I just couldn't believe it. It was just so sad. I was on Serenity's stream once, and I mentioned that people support cheaters on their team. We ended up playing a high-level ranked game, and there was an obvious hacker on the other team, and not one person did one thing to stop it. This game had over 700 viewers and they were watching it live. And when Twitch chat realized that their team wasn't doing anything to stop this hacker, they exploded with fury. It was beautiful. And the best part is that the other team had no idea we were all watching them and they treated it like a normal game. So for question number 3, do white knights exist? I had numerous occasions where these knights would flip on the switch and ended up just wrecking me after calling me a cheater. These games would be at match point and out of nowhere they would call upon the spirit of Clever himself. Oh, holy Clever, guide these bullets to my enemy. It was sick. It was just so sad. Some of these players will come out and say stuff like, ha ha ha, how do you like it, hacker? Get a taste of your own medicine, fag. It was just sad that these people had these programs loaded and they were just waiting to get bested to crank it all up. Now, I'm not sure if they were using wall hacks the whole time and hiding it, and after they suspected someone, they flat out just didn't care to hide it anymore, or they just had it ready the whole time. But they tried to justify themselves by saying, it's okay to cheat as long as I'm facing a cheater. These 3 past weeks have been a pretty big letdown for me. I know this probably happens in other major first-person shooters, but Rainbow Six is my favorite game. I left Dota 2, which I had about 1,700 hours in, for this game. I have devoted an exceedingly amount of time to the community, whether it be from Reddit, my channel, the forums, or Twitter. And I'm very sad to see stuff like this, and I don't know how it could be fixed. Everyone is hoping for anti-cheat in the game, but there is yet to be a case where an anti-cheat is 100% successful. So I don't expect a 100% cheater-proof game, because there is no way that will happen. I started this experiment hoping for a more positive result in the community, but I got quite the opposite. To the players who got smurfed on and high ping peaked, I want to let you know that I'm sorry, but something like this had to be done. It was not my intention on ruining your experience in the game. So for my closing notes, I wanted to say a few things. If you support cheaters on your team, then you're cheating as well. White knights are just as bad as regular cheaters, and you cannot justify cheats with cheats because it just adds more fuel to the fire. I would like to ask that if you're one of these players who are doing this, that you stop immediately, because you are contributing to the downfall of the best shooter since Counter-Strike. Now I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this and dislikes, but I had to do it, guys. These results were extremely eye-opening for me, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Anyways, if you guys like this video, then I'd appreciate a thumbs up for visibility. Since my MG fam tells me to up my expectation, let's go for 11 likes on this one. And if for some reason you really like this, then you should tap the subscribe button like it's hot. Let me know what your thoughts are about cheating in the comments below. And thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.
Op 4 is securing the
Yeah, there'll be
biohazard
open alpha soon.
Protect the biohazard container. Op 4, last stop standing. Biohazard container securing paused.
I think I just aced everybody.
Op 4.
So what does this mean, and how can we use this to our advantage, Microwave? Well, basically this means that your AO, area of operations, will be very small. Now going back to where you should place the cameras, let's use a server room on the new map Border as an example. Here you can see where the objective is and the surrounding rooms. This would be the AO of the server room when you have the operators that I mentioned before. The goal here is to place them in the location facing